or quiet, or heat or quiet. Hi, welcome to the last Moveable Beast of the spring 2025 season. I'm Maryrose Larkin. The Moveable Beast is a... Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Great. Moveable Beast is a poetical cabaret that we've done on and off for about 3 years. The idea is we have a set of people who are featured, and then people come and do all sorts of things. Somebody birthed themselves through a chair once. That was probably my favorite. And the point of the Moveable Beast, unlike many other places where you come to do your best work and show your best self off, we suggest you come to fail. We suggest that what we at the Moveable Beast Collective are trying to do is make a safe place to make work that might not work. Because I fail all the time. I'm like, they say those who can do and teach and those who can't MC. So I fail all the time. And that's just important to know. It's important, the only way your art gets better is if you fail over and over and over and over and over again. And sometimes it's really important to fail in front of an audience for all sorts of reasons. So, restrooms are here. Wine and other non-alcoholic liquids are there. Also, a variety of, what are they called? Snack packs? Variety of 100-calorie snack packs. I would also like to thank John Melillo because he's been entirely vital to the success of this. And also, just to tell you, I hope you come back. Sometimes we have 70 people. Sometimes we have 7 people. As a contemporary American poet, this is something that's happened to me throughout my lifetime. And so I hope it doesn't make you sad because it's the process. So I usually start with doing a tiny bit of reading, and then I'll introduce the first person. Then I will come back and do a tiny bit of reading and introduce the second person. Then we'll have a break, and then we'll have third and fourth. Then tonight's lineup is Essif, and then John Melillo, then Joker Harmonica, and then Miles, last name Miles? Anthony. And so, there we go. So I'm going to start off by reading just a teeny bit because I like to, and because those who can't write anymore read. So this is the Wednesday Daybook, 2007. I went to this retreat thing, and the leader of the retreat thing was write a poem about history. And so I decided to write a poem called The History of July, which was imaginary holidays for every day. So then I wrote a year's worth. I'm actually working on one for 2016. And then I printed it in my backyard, it was from the New York, from the New Yorker, it has the little New Yorker font, and it just looks like it's printed for $47.25, or you get it with a free 1-year subscription. So. Okay, so I'm going to read, before I introduce Ev, I'm going to read The Last of April. April 25th, thank God National Poetry Month is almost over. April 26th, well-behaved houseplants really make history. April 27th, 4.0 on the Gerhard-Richter scale. April 28th, piles of pillars, pylons, and panes. April 29th, Tragedy Day. April 30th, Mama, don't let your ferrets grow up to be cowboys. And that is the end of April. You're going to get a lot of this all night, so don't clap, it's all good. So I want to introduce Essif. I am so happy to know Ev. I went to an open poetry reading, which I do a lot of actually, especially if I'm working, because I need to hear how things work and sound, and there's not a lot of opportunity for that in most places. Of my poetry readings, you can make all the sound you want with the words. And Ev was there, and he used the term linear A in a poem. And I'm very sensitive to words in a really neurotic way. I make a joke, which isn't a joke, but when I learned the word ajar when I was 7, I just left all the doors open in my house, so I could say the word all the time, because it's a beautiful word. But so my ears picked up because I'm like, who the hell is mentioning linear A at Revolutionary Grounds? And since then, I've been a tremendous admirer of Ev, his work really comes from, Western Eastern esoteric traditions, science fiction, and language poetry. And I'm sure there's a dose of many, many, many other things mixed in that mix. So he's a member of our collective, the Moveable Beast Collective, people who make this possible, because I could not do this on my own and neither could anyone else. So Ev, come on up.
Hello, thank you. I'll try doing it without the mic.
No, I think we need the mic for the recording, so tip it up. You want me to move it up?
Turned it down.
Can I still not mic?
You
Keep it
can.
off you, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get that voice recording started. Cool, thank you. So this first poem is called Wave. It's about waves and fields. Has the quasar succumbed to blither? Being is as the dithering ones and aughts, warped, omitted conclusions, rendered as curvature. As the frog twitches, it releases an arcane galvanic signal via ligament. Its gas clings to a hieratic nadir of spherical vestiges and colliding vectors of spectered semaphores and star concerns. Dense iotas confined to a patois of parhesia point, stippled conclusion. Copied, mumbled, irradiated Confucius incunables intercept in Akashic splutters, utters, muttered, idioms and ciphers of schisms. Apocryphal grass, graphemes, shrouds of field trajectory embezzling ism, residue since Phaeton's collision. Telluric terms interred in the current since uric, aphelion U-turning at contours corner since nightshade urges scried this pentalpha confession. Via the bituminous zoa of parsec dust. Thank you. So this next one, shout out Maryrose for teaching me abecedarium. So this is my abecedarium. It's called Tephra Sphinx. Adjusting an alien antenna, attempting to attenuate antimatter abecedarial by Bythos appendices. Archival bijou, Bardot, attenations, Bactrian, caravans crossing the crevicing of a chaos caldera considered the distilled eidetic decadence of an eldritch exegesis. Extract fluctuating fructuous figments of fraptious fricatives with grimoire goetia, grappling gavatras graphite fuselage for gamma, hieratics here, the hedral hagiography heralds, icosahedral infiltrates exhibiting the image of ibis iots, jabberwock jackal kaliuches, jekyll lacuna of loose leaf menologia, numinal metatron noclite nucleus of occipit, occupancies. Oil omens, onums, oracular poison proceeds as psionic pyroclasm. It piques the quasar's quest to cordy quandaries and sour rain shadow spent samsara spilling sapiency, speaking strange suffixings, this and that. Tephra unctuations, tectonic, umbering, undo the do untos and the ultras used to variegating uvula vacillation, UV indexes, vowel wavelength exchange. Yanabites with oxygen got years in Yamaloka, yearning to Zoar aster the zygomatic Ziziva via the zigzag. So this next one is, it's a nature meditation. Over ripples surfaces, Salvanic evening, shadow gog awakens a sylvanic xylography concealing a verdant sigh. A slight Lebecchio etches moonlit gravity covenant, contours exhausted ingrained in the helixing of an elaborism, heliotropic petrichor of petal pleroma, honing the aroma of a macrocrier, accretion delicately transducing creosote conveyings. The somatic hydrometeor transfers as its impact melts to a dusky wisp. This is called Squid. Chromatophores, ganglion entanglements, fallen angel alias made by chitinous consummation of camouflage enigma. Deep, universal marine axon, aeon infinita, guardians of antipode, sponge nemesis, fathoms reaching for algaic detritum. The void's inky purveyance of sagas submerged, 20,000 whale falls under the thoracic serum, a sessile passage toward tentacular deficit of daylight. This one is a longer one, and I call it Madman's Free Verse. I'm just recollecting on this one. I'm just reflecting, rewinding, flipping through these flickering images, lingering, scrolling through the soul of scrivener's scrawl, all scribbling, star-stepping, sculpting the record scratch, stowed in the stamina, in the anima's tethered tones and theta wave cadences, my pulses undulating the hunger under my tirade, relentless diatribe. To the day D is a ride, to the eye of my eyelids are lifted on this illusory life cycle. Few views and viewed in the pew, spewing it for acuity's ossicles, burning oxygen, Andromeda's android, consuming the nebula's lexicon, connecting synecdoche to Kazemi. Synapse rhapsodies evolving the torment, forming tropes of future as invigorating fruits on finality's filaments, glitching, eliciting these illicit itches in betwixt the physical fitches, haunted visions and images, dispatching depeche, etching, entelechy, mismatching the mic, melody like Lascaux glyph, painted on cliff, porphyry, the portals, entropy and ochre, orbiting these audio, optical, prime, ordinate, co-opting penumbra off the eons encumbrances, overcoming innumerable paradises and perditions and paradoxes, switching the swatches at sunset with the swisher, spitting pictures like a cyclosa, siphoning ciphers from systema nervosa, sporadic, out diaphragms, pouring it quarterly out the amphora. Every east rise, revise the refrains, madman's free verse, skip the quatrains, just flow like Coltrane's, flame sustain the melodious, thelonious, dissonance erroneous, the nosiest, necromancer nostrils, deep in the tome, another soul moseying through the desert. 40 years or so it's sold as apocryphal providence and prophecy of our progeny's hypocrisies, not Hippocrates, no oath or code to his mosaic except the untold knowing. Basking in it like an Atlantis baptism, bathymetry, stones throw from my gaze, basilisk, baffled, Baphomet scaffolding, at unbalanced scaffolding, underlying metamorphoses, metaphor like Ovid, avid, monger, kill, pantheons with a black bibliography, undisputed percussion, tend to stay on the 10 toes, tiptoeing past an a priori entity, suspending the verse. This is the last one I'm going to share. It's called Infinity Jaw. Grant my unraveling shadow a sliver of the zebra speed, zagging dazzle, dragon zig-dragging, Ilkamaya, Zynoscene, igniting the driftwood. Those Ticonderoga graphemes tacitly ingress my ephemeris, indeed, index, phalanges, redux, codices, until fatigue grants my unraveling a sliver of this infinity jaw, picture a cosmic anomalous thaumaturge perusing a picatrix, ciphered attenuations etched, crimson archives, accrued celestial quantizing, surmising, disinterring, duot artifices lingering, Fata Morganas, errata, figments of Eratosthenes, still a distilled fugitive lingering in valley reservoir liver, chalkboard, emulsion, river gulch in the rain, shadow howl reduced to my gallimorph sorrow, and nocturnal mange enterprise, half-devoured midnight tapestry unraveling, a post-archonic pulsar drift, a cymatic sun regime augments its austere static, buries the brittle fragments of frequencies once etched on Saqqara scrolls, been to no other such place but the utter immediacy of semiotic sandcastles. I think I'll share one more, just for fun. Apple apparatus, apparition of lattice affiliate, a provision, abscission of arcane fruits falling in the desert, consuming the rosettas to undermine the serpent's ruse, interred in rib cages obscured under the epidermis, under the uttered word. Gobbledygook hookah, the caterpillar sutras, echoes of my triangle truths, Bermuda, lacuna, hakuna, hiding behind the moon's hues, ruminating in the tombs of ancestry consumed in cartouche runes. I illuminate my profusitude inscribed in ruins next to an obelisk's cosmic dunes, compass entombed on this blue hue like Neptune. End of November, Estenicir floats. 23rd acts, 32nd parallel lat, Nazca lines, maps on my hand, divine plan, tarot my bone, marrow flow stays, narrow north arrow weather vein pointing between point barrow and the bad water, run a bit hotter with the porridge I pour in my aura, borealis, sonoran, 857 zone, Horus, Taurus, horoscope torrent from the cact, ACE portal, oracle flipping, zippos, not zillos, billow my cielo bellows, acapella habits and percussive riffs, just of my isms, rhythms spit over the opus like Osiris's shattered corpus, compost, mentis, compost from the cosmos, collision on a tectonic flow.
Thank you so much, Ed. See, didn't I tell you?
Remarkable.
So, May 1st, welcome to Swing Set Month. May 2nd, Great Anterior Sea Day, Nebraska. May 3rd, all unsafe activates should be avoided today. May 4th, hints from St. Heloise Day. May 5th, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Our next reader is going to be John Melillo, and if there's going to be a problem, because I cannot say enough good things about John. Not only has he written some really cool books, he teaches at the university, which for me seems to be a tremendous sacrifice for us all. So thank you for making that sacrifice. He does really interesting poetry things. He really does interesting sound things. He is the tender of this collective. And yeah, we are just, yes, as I said, I could go on, and I can go on, but I won't go on. But anyways, here's John Melillo.
Hello, awesome. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Maryrose. I don't read poetry that much. Often I sing or do performance things or host.
Do a lot of
Yeah, I
hosting.
have a lot of hosting here, or stand on my head or other things. And so this is an opportunity absolutely to fail. So I will do that. And yeah, welcome everybody to Wave Archive 2. This space has been doing stuff like this since September, and it's just really exciting to host events here and to see the amazing community around experimental music, performance art, poetry, all the cool things happening here in Tucson. And so I would be remiss if I didn't say that next week we have a really cool 2 events that we're organizing. The first one's going to be on Tuesday, and it's going to be Catherine Sikora and Eric Mingus, the son of Charles Mingus. And Catherine Sikora is an amazing free jazz saxophonist So it's going to be a night of like really amazing like out music. And then the night after that, there's going to be a masterclass that they're hosting on the patio in front of Mocha. And that's open to anybody, whether you're a musician or not. And that's going to be really freaking cool. So anyway, come out. I have little flyers that I can give you if you want a little paper reminder to carry with you. So I'll read 3 poems tonight. One that I've read in this space before. I also want to just like call attention to my appreciation for any poems that include waves. So thank you for that, for the space.
Yes. Great opener.
And love the, I also want to call attention to the anonymous poet, whoever they are, who wrote, "There will be a fuck wave, a tsunami-sized ocean mountain of bullshit they will put us through love," that I picked up at a punk house like 5 years ago and have kept with me waiting for this moment for it to be up and published on the wall. If anybody knows who that anonymous poet is, I would love to know and meet them someday. They are in Tucson, or it happened in Tucson. So here's the first poem. Triton fishman holding down the body. She's falling into water, floating up to the sky. Apotheosis. How remote is the light stance, abandoning herself totally to the weight. Wolflin on Karachi's Galatea, page 81. Keep moving. Stretched between fish desire and floating between dolphin food, keep moving. This mass given to the waves to pick up and push back to earth and air, don't die. I'm always like looking for sea things, of course, too, Ev. So tentacular deficit of light sticks with me. Out of the many amazing combinations of words that you gave, tentacular deficit of light, tentacular. And I also perform in a band or a project that's me called Algae and Tentacles. The second poem is from a quote that will be in the last poem, so I won't tell you yet about it. But it is based around a musical technique of serialism, so a kind of use of all 12 tones of the scale. And I'm sort of using an example of a set that I found while reading about this technique. And the name of the poem is Questions of Partitioning. And so the epigraph is, I see your face where'er I go. My face, people, that seen, not may have so dead face. My, the dead that have seen, not seen dead that so have. My face, so may the people, not dead that have seen. Me, I, people that the have. The people, my seen, me that. May not so my face, people. People may face me, my, the face, so not people. May that me, people, the not face, people. All right, so the last poem is almost none of it is mine, and but I won't go and give every reference like in the first poem. With their lives in the arms of the waves, their lives in the arms of the waves, their lives in the arms of the waves, with loving arms, and realizes the burden of joy. For misfortune is heavy to bear, and fortune weighs yet more. My utopia is like Rothko, soft and unfocused. No, my utopia is Rothko, soft and unfocused. According to legend, a small snake was found in the vulture's egg. Can dungeons, bolts, and bars confine thee? Level up. Vaudeville melodies. What superhumans these circus people are. The red bus, telematic coherence. I would have thrown a bit of sauce into the flooding cellar. Red against red. Nothing feels better than blood on blood. The breath of life, a bizarre ritual, you got it, that preceded Christianity. At its core, a seepage in the bizarrerie. At its core, pagan drugs and sex. At its core, ritual rebirth in pharmacological splendor. At its core, an interpretation, says Eamon Hillman, of the Greek texts. At its core, we don't know what anything is. I'm afraid for the snowman on the hood of this car. This one, the one and only. If God is dead, doesn't that mean she was previously alive? Burn pile, piss ant, flail pant, bowl corpse, sew crates. Everyone cooed when we mentioned bells, feathers, and shipwrecks. My pants melted. Slow kiss, dip, shit, heist, horse, lip, bat, fish, male. Each camera human with a human camera. Armak nam armak nam armak nam huita nam ark mak hike, armak nam hitwa. Hitya nam ark mak hike. Late ark, store that, false fork, blown fort, ass hat. Welcome, Asynchronous Swim Society. Please state your name and purpose like a flown catamaran neutralizing beta in the rest stop. Don't present anything but the pretend present paradise's paradise be damned. And I do have to shout out to Hannah Lawless, who gave Present Paradise Be Damned in a poetry reading here a few weeks ago. Local poet Hannah Lawless, you should check out her work. I'll say it again. Don't present anything but pretend present paradise's paradise be damned. Don't present anything but the pretend present paradise's paradise be damned. It will be, or date natural faces, with tree rings in climate hell. Everyone's selfish worlding is really making us all sick, but here we are in the feedback hydra, and no, we need these things, or everyone will die, because we've all got them for so long. But everyone would be dying before, too. Not an argument, just saying. Goat head, plat node, dis change, nuke barn, neck face, on the building, in the air, through the trees, the wind. Hey babe, be an incredible angel and don't destroy everything. Just live and fuck these fucking resentful fuckfaces everywhere. Resenting your pleasure, your fun, your fucks, your giving a fucks, your shits, you're giving the shits, your body angle in the stage light at the music hall, and your perfect strength and grace and dreadful power. All of it. Jelly astrophysics, banker's skull core collapse, grass murder, plural cabin, ectoplasmic ectoskeletal, the great derangement, the great derangement, thrown out and come back, 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 an empire of the mind, asking for feedback in the methodological,
explaining terror as the feeling of the operation of reason. In the morning, my eyes were so vacant and my face so dead that the people I met may not even have seen me. Thanks, Aaron. And the last line that was from Rimbaud, which then became the second poem. Too. I thought I should at least flag that. Thank you all.
May 6th, Ghost Appeasement Week. May 7th, Luck Between the Beltanes. May 8th, Puppies versus Kittens, 2:05 p.m. May 9th, Bye Bye Dog Star. May 10th, Mama Day in Oregon. May 11th, Day of the Good Used Car. May 12th, Couplets, Couplings, and Couplings. We're going to take a break. We're going to turn the fan on. We will be back with the reality stylings of Joker Harmonica and the sharp wit of Miles Asady. Oh, there's an open mic. There's an open mic at the end. Sign up if you want to read the open mic. Nights we try to stop. This is the end. Okay, break, of course. Welcome back to the second half of the Moveable Beast. I'm glad to see you remained and retained your human shapes because it's hot and we melt. So May 6th. No, let's go the other way. May 13th. Doesn't everyone love Thomas the Train? May 14th. Remodel your kitchen and spray paint and bourbon. May 15th. Stuttering Week. May 16th. Buddha Bean Distribution Day. May 17th. Sight Saving Ultraviolet. May 18th, Dismemberment Days. May 19th, Living in the House of Life. So, Joker Harmonica has a very complicated and long file, which I'm not going to read. I'm not going to read. But, no, I'm certainly not going to read it. But what I do want to say is I have seen, so when we first started Moveable Beast, we were in my friend's garden in his hair salon. And I think you came with Igloo, is that correct?
Sending love to Igloo.
Yeah, you came to Igloo, and you did this remarkable thing where you're standing up there, it was just one Joker Harmonica, and people would say joke, or and actually it was what I want Moveable Beast to be all the time, Joker Harmonica. So I'm so glad he decided that he'd be willing to do a thing for us tonight. And I look forward to his reality stylings, and I hope you will too. Joker Harmonica, woo!
Right, so I'm thinking maybe we'll get what do you think, an instrument like mic'd up like that? Yeah?
I think if I'm just kind of standing there next to you, it'll probably pick up in that mic.
Oh, you can stand and play it?
Yeah.
So we have an instrument, and then if you'd like to do interpretive dance or wherever, and anybody else would like to do interpretive dance, this is a sci-fi concept album. Anybody ever hear of Eugene Ionesco?
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite writers, and I found like this one play called The Rhinoceros. And they made it into a movie. It's almost like the producer's sequel with Gene Wilder and Zero Mostel. Well, anyway, in it, there are people keep on turning into rhinoceroses, and it's an anti-fascist play. And I improvised this back in 2008, and recently transcribed it, preparing for this. A masquerade of the Apocalypse Cafe with a dedication to Cecil Hendricks and a big happening. I don't really want to talk, and so I'm just going to kind of go off and do this. And so it was almost like before I read the Rhinoceros, then I kind of, this was a relationship, and then the one turns into a cyborg, and so it's like beware the machines kind of thing. So we're going to go into this stuff. Okay. So everyone, let's give a big clap for ourselves. So I want to give a shout out to don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, your crew, don't worry. And I think I'm gonna kind of not with that. So yeah. Bobby was waiting in the river Jeannie was lying on her back. All the leaves, they were brushing up against her skirt. Bobby was looking at Jeannie. Jeannie was letting the breeze fall in, and all the leaves were falling. And lawn mowers, they come up the streets. Law owners, they tear all the people to bits. Bobby looked at the lawnmowers. She told Jeannie she better get up and go. Bobby went up and picked her up, and now lying there. And the lawnmowers, they gonna rip you to bits. I told you should have to get up and go. Wow, they are all gonna be around. They are metal. They are metal. Running, right from the lawnmowers. Running in the ride. To and fro, back and forth, car chases, ensuing crashes, running, jogging, jazzer, going so slowly now, going back to and fro, running from the lawnmowers. Find a wall and see that it's only a holiday. And run and look at me now. Little book meow. Look at my metal devices, shackles. The metal in your hair, the shackles left to all the places in your eyes, those familiar places. Jeannie, can you still see me now? Can you answer to what we got? Jeannie, what percentage are you human? Are you still human? I hate the lawnmowers. I much rather reflect on iced tea and summertime breeze. I think of all the perspiration I gave, and still here you are, only a cyborg, part of a robot. Brussels sprouts and beans, Brussels sprouts and celery roots, rutabaga and green onions. Can cilantro save you now? Can it beat these heavy metals? Don't rust on me. I got avocado oil and tomato paste. I'm a sun-dried tomato. I'm a sun-dried tomato in olive oil. Metal in your hair, plastic in your blood. has now been filled out now. The spider wears the last sacrament. Lament has now come into the vision. Bobby is now reflected on the relaxation on weather devices. Jeannie, it is almost done. We have so far to go. Ice and frozen snow, canyons of icicles, wandering through the cave. There are primitive devices there. There is smoke protruding in the cave. It's so extraordinary. Hippity hop, bunny rabbit. Hippity hop, giant bunny rabbit. What's your name now? Hippity hop, don't be so afraid. I'm not so hungry now. Could you lend me a carrot? Do you have any lettuce? Have you ever heard of the machines? Lots of people, they think they are run by the machines. Lots of people, they don't really know. We used to use lawn mowers all the time. Before the chemical spill, if only plastic had another life. All the broken glass, they couldn't take care of it. And I think of my life past. Hippity hop, what's your name? Hippity hop, can you show me into the night of the astrological religious origin? And I don't want you to forget how grateful I am for the vegetables. Time, it resides on sides. Enjoy time. Who let control pass by? Once there was this thing called lucrative action. Once there was some divine organism. So many invested in something that was nothing. They let bums bile boil over. They did not bless the food they ate. They thought they had it all worked out with math. They thought wrong. And Bobby left the cave, filling her stomach with vegetables, refreshed, nourished, and warm, and whole miles of distance of light and icicles and snow. She turned around to see an explosion. The entire cave was on fire now. The lawnmower in with the snakes have a bad reputation. Snakes, they crawl out of their own snakes, protect themselves, hide in rocks and caves. And I love them, I love their venom. Strawberries and cherries, rainbows and avocados, typesettings of the ancient right now, holding hands with all the devils at hand, and all of the worshippers of the land, of the sun in darkness that falls upon a prince, a bell of time, brings out the action, the chain reaction, to think it's all holding on to bliss and piss with bliss. Grab onto a fish head, grab onto the shaft to explode the gasoline. All of the lawnmowers, you can reap the harvest, you can soil the seed, we can, I can, you can, just unscrew one bolt, we can beat the lawnmowers, we don't need no lawnmowers. Baby, I will remember you while I sleep alone at night, while I sleep through the daytime, while I deal with illusion. Baby, I will dream of you. You are such a nice dream. Genie, genie, I wanna put you in a bottle. Your Bobby Bob is all alone now. All freedom. If you could see this world, see all that has been accomplished. See how it will all react now. See the happiness. I'm gonna heal you. I'm gonna heal you. The revelation will not be televised. The revolted nation will not be televised. But it might be posted on the internet. The revelation inscribed into the minds. The revolution, the turn of minds. Look both ways, and simply turn the mind. I, forming the new language, a universal code, a code of uncoded degrees. Do you remember the future? Do you remember how pretty the future is going to be?
I just want to say that was
So when I did that in 2008, when I first came here, that was a complete improvisation of I think it was a couple songs, but then I didn't really try to do much of changing it, so just keeping the integrity of just sending that.
I take little snippets of this. I take little snippets of everything I do when I leave the house. And I call it my spare time. I put it on Facebook. just because not everyone is convinced I leave the house. So I put yoga harmonica, my spare time, putting the in the avant-garde. So thank you for putting that in for us.
I put the ant in the avant-garde.
Okay, Sunday, May 20th, Sun enters the sign of the junk mail folder. 21st, Raggedy Ann born, 1612 BC. May 22nd, Circle A or Circle K, you decide. May 23rd, Hamster Memorial Day. May 24th, kick your husband if he's mean. Boy, have I learned about that one this year. May 25th, Gypsy Matron Day. May 26th, time starts slowing down right here. Our next and last featured reader is Miles Anthony. Now, I have read Miles' play, and perhaps you will get to hear an interesting talk or with dialogue between Mademoiselle Coco Chanel and Timothy Leary. Or we may not. But please welcome Miles Anthony.
Hello, Miles Anthony. Today I'll be reading you a text that I wrote about a civic string of moments in my life, an injunction, a slight biographical portrait of an individual crucial to that moment in time. I smiled when you said your colleagues thought about what you would do when you encountered a problem. You said that they would chat with their inner you in their head. You're something more than a colleague to me. You're a shoulder, a window, a mirror, an encyclopedia, a mother. You even told me to walk more in order to lower my cortisol levels. You told me that what I felt was as common and as uncomfortable of an experience as choking on my own spit or getting an eyelash in my eye. When I found out that your love and joy flow in other hemispheres like a fabric that stretches as far as the air, it gave me hope. The fact that you can be a mother to others, a sanctuary to others, a wake-up call to others, unknown to yourselves and your history is something that astounds me. This makes me question where to start with breaking the burned parts of my introversion deep inside myself. I smiled when you said you liked earrings that were more like cousins instead of sisters. Earrings that had more of a difference than a similarity, but still accompany one another. You really fought for me. You tried to speak the language that would allow for my dream to continue on, but the ship was gone. But you still kept asking for tickets. And when they didn't give you tickets, you were willing to swim in the brine with me. You even came in your workout clothes. You were that ready. It's okay that I'm not on the ship. I can still wave to other ships that pass by and form my own islands. If I snuck aboard, I know tangled invasive species would have grown in root within me. You told me that your father hung a mobile of shapes and numbers over your crib, and that he would name them and spun them alive with his finger, like a god igniting concepts in creation above your infant body before you gave up to sleep. I smiled when you told me your favorite shape was the right trapezoid, which is typically uncommon in most pattern block sets. It has 2 adjacent right angles and is not symmetrical. But it's the only way to divide the yellow hexagon into 4 equal pieces. You said you liked it because it looked like it didn't fit at first glance. But it does. I smiled when you challenged others who said, you don't look like you are homeless because you don't match the fashion of their perception. You told me about the older unhoused gentleman that agreed to watch over your young adult body like how saguaros watch the desert floor while you gave up to sleep. You once told me a story about a child that felt like they were being led around like a beast of burden for whole chunks of time by the very adults who were supposed to make them soar high like Arcadias. But instead, the grown-ups' practices made their movements more accustomed to soar, heckled cicadas. You understood that teachers were not photocopied Florence Nightingales. Running down the battlefield with our halos under our nurses' caps. You understood that teachers were not computers who can autocorrect children into useful assets and power down effortlessly at night. The possible photo of you rendered object would have broken small and unseen often within me. The fact that the nation of your adopted children could throw unusual cruelty so ruthlessly to the rotten user benefit of the state scared me. The very state that thought nothing of not using rubber bullets, even though rubber bullets still leave a mark. Instead, they wanted the ground to be marked, bruised with blood. I was powerless in my hemisphere, scrambling through my technology as though doomsday was approaching, trying to reach you. It was night where I was at, but I didn't know what morning was available for you. When I got contact, you said the state cut the internet in order to control the populace. Otherwise, they would have to mark more ground. You said you're on the outskirts of the city with your adopted children safe within its thick walls. I'm surprised with how kind people really are. You were one of my biggest surprises. You told me you kept a note that I wrote when I was a student. You told me that I didn't fail the system, that the system failed me. I can't untie myself from my history. I can't chew through its fabric and sever it like an umbilical cord. I can't be an unidentified object in any hemisphere. Enter the bears. There's Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear, and they run around with large shapes and blocks. Then one day, Baby Bear's parents don't wake up from their long nap. Enter the witch. The baby bear goes to the witch of the woods and asks for help. The witch agrees to help, but only if the baby bear agrees to be the witch's child. The baby bear thinks and thinks. There's a lot of safety in being the child of a witch. The baby bear agrees, only if he can still visit his parents. The witch obliges to the baby bear's terms. The witch smiles and gives the baby bird a bottled elixir that will fill their house with smoke, enough to wake both Mama and Papa Bear up from their nap. At home, the baby bear takes the cork out of the bottle and the house fills with smoke. But instead of waking up, Mama Bear and Papa Bear's bodies turn into clouds and they fly out the window with the smoke. The baby bear was tricked by the witch and is now the witch's servant. Over the years, the baby bear grows bigger and stronger, becoming a more useful asset to the witch and her spells. Then one day, the baby bear stumbles across a pond. And looks into the water, and he sees his parents. The water tells the baby bear that his parents are in the water now and are being held captive by his reflection. The water says to the baby bear that his parents have been through the water cycle and have been filtered and purified over and over and over again, that these were the ideal parents for him. The baby bear jumps into the water, thrashing and sinking. He tries his very best to get his jaw around the throat of his reflection, but the water rushes into his own throat. And meanwhile on the shore, the water nymphs laugh, having tricked the servant of the witch of the woods. But the water goes still, and the baby bear floats on the water, dead. The witch decides to make most of the situation, and he goes and pulls the baby bear's body from the water and takes it back to her shack. The witch skins the bear's hide and creates a new creature from it to do her bidding. Despite the creature's hollow inside, the creature howled and shook because of the memories of his parents and the shame of turning them into clouds. The witch promises the creature that she will help the creature forget all his memories, but only if he obeys all her orders. If he doesn't, she'll make a memory walk across his mind like a scorpion. The creature has no choice but to agree to the witch's deal. Now the creature wanders the woods, unsure why he feels such shame looking at clouds or his own reflection. End of play with a question mark that looks like a hooded being looking down. I've always had hard times with goodbyes. I wipe the tears with my sleeve. Even though with modern technology we can still be connected, it still feels like weak homeopathy of what I used to do. I will miss the accessibility of our conversations about visions of what classrooms could be for each child, at which point is something accessible that can be so far that it becomes lost. I smile on my hood, thinking about the time you told me about productive struggle. It's blurry, but embossed. I can't even remember the room. But I know that's a compass. A bell rings. And now for the second part. I have these pencils.
Oh.
And some are sharpened, some are broken, some are not sharpened. And I have these little cards, and I also have tape. Would someone like to pass around these pencils and these paper and also have tape? And we can tape them up here. Absolutely. Thank you. Ed, I see you.
I get it. You take it whatever.
Just take it.
And if
This one.
this one?
I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to share a pencil if it's broken. Use one that's not broken. Share it with a neighbor. thing.
Is the pencil required?
If you have a pen, you can use a pencil. If you have a pencil, you can use a pen.
I wanted to make sure that I was not being too specific.
No, you're good. No worries. Absolutely.
Not yet.
I have paper and pen. Thank you, though.
Everybody have a writing instrument, or at least their neighbor has one at least. Everybody have a little piece of paper, a little papel. I don't know how to say it in French, but that. So on your piece of paper, if you could write down like one word that just comes in your mind, it doesn't matter. Any word, a noun, an adjective, an article, just one word. And when you've got that one word written down, when you have that one word written down, feel free to throw it up in the air, like not throw the paper up, but like hold the paper up in the air. All right. I'll do a kind of come around. Actually, I have a different idea. Hold on. I actually have tape. So if anyone wants to like pass around this tape, you can kind of tape them up on this wall, and then you can make a poem together if you'd like. So
I
you want
have an idea.
Let's see how long this takes.
I'm gonna do.
yeah, do little things. Anybody want to pass out some tape? Help out.
Right here. So see this.
Oh, there you go.
Give me that one.
Absolutely. So community effort.
This way.
All right.
At the bottom.
I'll give you that.
I need a pencil.
Roll it.
No, I need tape.
There you go.
And push at the bottom. At the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I live in opposite the.
You're talking to a joke.
Yeah, that's why I thought you'd
And take, put at the
understand.
bottom.
Pencils, you have a tape.
Push at the bottom.
Somehow this tape brings it all together.
You might have a glass over here.
Already done? Like those things?
There's one on the column over there. Yeah, that one.
Up towards, yeah, I need a portable pen. Where, like, attached to my head.
How about you, John?
Portable pen.
And I'll probably have an account at that store.
That's a delicate do.
What is upside down?
Oh my.
Alright. Bring this back.
Thank you. Cool.
Teamwork.
Makes the dream work. There's our poem. All right, so part 2. Broke mandolin, dynamicism condensed, soul or soul, trash unconditional parsnip back, book bro, behavior absolute, torch cereal bearable, Linold, signed leaf chip. And you guys can keep the pencils too.
Thank you. They were so well sharpened.
Is there a part 3?
Oh, no part. Well, there can be a part 3. We don't know where we're gonna
I just like to do a trip tech, you know?
be. Yeah, no problem. But yeah.
Part 3 is the mic.
Yes, part 3 is the open mic, in which if you have not signed up, you're welcome to. You're welcome to do all the things. Just like if you want to do interpretive dance without any, with only your own interpretation, please do. Poems, harmoniums. Anyways, You people are so charming, and I like you so much. And I appreciate you guys taking like a chance on the Moveable Beast, because I want to believe we all have one enormous human and non-human heart that's just made of language, and we are all kind to each other. I know that's not how the world works. It's how the world wants to work. That's the world I'm trying to make. That's the world I want to work. We don't have that world. So come back, 7.5, half an album side, and we'll listen to some open mic stuff. We have the open mic section of our Grocer's Freezer, and there's something really unusual that's happening here today, and that usually we have acrobats and jugglers and magicians, and tonight we have all poets, which will be really, really interesting. And our first reader is going to be our my favorite co-collaborator, David Weiss.
Thank you. I'm reading some new work today. We'll see how it goes. Chirping truce, this lauds by yellow birds, wakes itself again, a pebble alone and familiar beside others. Arrow flies backward above. His vomit a sun, blazing onto tile floor, sticky light around our toes. Light steeped in water, sky the shine between and red brick beneath. Shorn pinion along column's beak, its shade a joke on time. Wings, puppets taken, whirligig. Sheer composition of leaves and tacks. Full lid works rusty bargain sans compassion. Ears marching all hinge waiting for collapse. Swirls light deafens monsoon, roiling sheets around, grays beyond count and intermittent purple or green. 9 eyes stamping each way, tippled and sound, cold jet moving, lone clamor as skipping stone, a smooth sinking, bottomless flourish, stretched figures willing their fire. Fallen leaves on garden brick, drying, curled, crunched, and tracked everywhere. Unfurling ground, salt brushed lines under stark light, dry basin rising behind to scattered mesquite copses, then dusty mountains and sky. Submerged, searching for seedlings, a germ to hear, your eyes an uncoded path, hand in each other's along unseen tines, outer pop holds dancing. Turned and rest tilted, this lock then clutch slipping, as moment gives way to moment, wrinkles in stone and many stones accumulation. These precious lies given way to flies in evening. Sharply frail, glass falls into time and gone. Dove wades in the low spaces as twins peck fallen seeds from gravel. The coos to cool, settled down and unseated. Weft to wrinkle, Frisian as dotted hedge. Thanks.
So, you're going to see the next writer, and then you have seen tonight all of the collective. That is me, David, Ed, and the illimitable Ash Hooke.
I'm going to read a poem I didn't quite have time for last month because I really want to do this. This poem is in my book is the Surviving the Post-Mormon Apocalypse, and this is a very inside baseball Mormon poem, but I really want to do it. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it's interesting if you don't know the stuff, but it's really interesting if you do. So it's called The Archaeology of Doubt. There is a kind of a new document for ex-Mormons called the CES letter. And in that letter, it does all the research to disprove Mormonism and collects it all together. And and so there's an epigraph, and one of the things that was part of that was a quote from a BYU archaeology professor. And so he says, "You can't set Book of Mormon geography down anywhere." And then the author of the letter, Jeremy Reynolds, says, "Because it is fictional and will never meet the requirements of the dirt archaeology. I should say, what is in the ground will never conform to what is in the book." So this is the archaeology of doubt. "I remember standing on a stool, looking out over a pulpit at a sea of proud, smiling faces, stammering before that congregation, proclaiming the absolute rote truth of my church and its ancient translated golden book. Having been taught to walk their land from first steps to first words, to first mimicked folded arms and bowed head, blooming where they planted me. From the 46 years spent testifying singular truth, the only true church on the face of the earth, finding falsehood in all else who claim to know where God lives, charging them with ignorant sin. I lay here ashamed, feet bleeding after having ripped out roots from that fantastic cemented landscape where I will walk no more. For in that land of truth, the self-proclaimed prophet traces the map of his book with a honeyed tongue, having licked sticky pilfering fingers, culling his own land's names. Alma, Antrim, Lehi, Mantua, Moravian Town. Lake Erie and Ontario becoming two seas separated by the narrow neck of land, an isthmus for fabled people to travel. Old Pirate Joe even stole from Captain Kidd, African Cumorah and Moroni becoming the hill and angel of religious justification. As if enough hadn't been taken from them already, whole land masses of paragraphs from the view of the Hebrews, pulled and supplanted, filling plates and plates of fool's gold, with some New England primer prose thrown in for good measure. To what level of faith does belief in the plagiarized arrive? The penultimate unseenness all fiction fertilizes. Is the Book of Mormon different than any of these old-timey stories written to scare children and their children's children? How many artifacts must the archaeologist place in glass cases for Jesus to come again? Within the hurricanes of these and the newly unanswered questions, swirling within the shame of not knowing, I flounder unmoored from both sea and mountain, licking wounds I hardly wanted, healing feet sunk in the dirt of truth. I wander the land of heartbeats, a faithless woman weeping without an eternity. Thank you for listening to that. All right, this other one is I forgot to print it. I'm a school teacher, it's the end of the school year. And then Maryrose printed it for me and she forgot to bring it. So I'm reading off my phone, but it's an open mic, so that's okay, right? I attended a U of A Poetry Center workshop, and so I want to test drive this poem before they have their reading. The workshop was Writing with the TV On. Hannah Enzer. Yeah. They're great. Anyway, so it was March 1st that I took this workshop. So, there have been a few weeks of craziness at that point from the inauguration, and I was having a really hard time wanting to write about it, but I didn't know how. And so I was able to do it based on this form that they introduced that was like, what if America was episodic? Each new day of America right now is a new crazy episode. So I was able to access it a little bit. This is called This Is Your Life, America Reboot. Sitting in anticipation for the next episode. Anticipatory dreading when loss will happen. Happening to see the clues foreshadowing inevitable heartbreak. My heart breaking inside my helplessness. Helpless in this current apocalypse. An apocalyptic slaughterscape projected on screens. Project 2025 systematic surgery. Surging stabbing with too many blades. Macro blades skinning hearts and eyes. Eyes wide open. Open heart ravaged. By ravagers I tried to stop. My vote stopping nothing. Not a thing to be done but watch. Watching and waiting. Waiting for America's next episode. An episodic dismantling horror. More horrible than Gambit's death, this deathly excising of the most beautiful. Beauty erased by hate. Hating the hate I feel within myself. Thanks.
Our next reader is friend of the beast and remarkable person, Lisa Periale-Martin. What I want to tell people about the Sabino Canyon Poets, because it's something that brings joy to me all the time. So Lisa has organized a thing called the Sabino Poets. Is that what we call it?
Yes.
Sabino Poets. And so what Lisa does is she meets us in a parking lot, and then we hike, or if you're me, we walk to the nearest WPA picnic table. So we hike or we walk, and Lisa gives us a prompt, and we think about nature while we're in it, Sabino Canyon or other places when it gets too hot for Sabino Canyon. And then we write, then we get together, then we read. It's just this lovely thing. And Lisa's a tremendous poet in her own right, but she also, like for me, who does not get on nature a lot because I'm disabled, she gives me nature. I mean, who does that?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yes.
It's the third Saturday of the month. You can get on my email list, give me your email. I was just gonna read, throwing pencils because it's the thing tonight. A really short poem. I have a confession to make. I ruined your life. What are you talking about? It was ruined when you got here. No, it wasn't. Not like this. I did something I wish I could take back. I ripped open the curtains with blinding sunlight pouring in. I put you on speakerphone to the world without telling you. Posted naked pictures of you on Planet Net. What? There's no naked pictures of me. Will you stop with the drama? Well, not literally, but this is worse. Way worse. I submitted one of your poems.
Yes! I love
That is pretty awesome, true.
that. That is great.
Tim, who is running away from me, is
Oh,
supposed to
you're
be
reading
reading next. He's running away from me. Tim will be a featured reader in the 25-26 section of A Moveable Beast.
I didn't need the aqua.
I'm sorry?
I needed to wet the pipes. So
I
it's
understand.
getting warm.
I'm just going to sashay off the stage now.
Not everybody can sashay.
I'm not sure I can catch sashay. Thank
So
you.
my name is Tim Waters. Yes, and I'm a poet here, musician, and I want to bring some poetry from my forthcoming book. And I like to use fourth because it is the fourth book. And so I'm trying these out live to see if they need any final edits. So this first one is called Evolution. Something about evolution puzzles me. Were we the only creatures to crawl from the sea? Did we wait for an atmosphere before we could flee? And could we return again if we need? And when did those birds take to the sky? Were they afraid down here and they taught themselves to fly? And odd creatures must be attempts at a new evolution or just roadkill on the road through evolution. We're here now. Don't mess it up. We only have one planet that's willing to support us. Earthlings are we, and we need each and every creature to just be. Oh. Thank you, like that. Yeah. What is about office products falling to the ground today? So I like to play with words, and I have the benefit of reading this, so I know that the title is Please without the E at the end of it. Okay. So sometimes there will be an E, sometimes not. And my pleas were being drowned out by the ever-increasing volume that weighed so heavy on my mind that it eschewed all other thoughts but survival. Fight or flight? Whose side are you on? I can't wait to find out before I'm gone. Sorry, no time for introductions. Word has spread about the abductions. As if nobody else has heard? How absurd. Am I cast into life unprepared, unscripted, improvisation? You're doing sensational, as you are still here. My request was denied when sent up the chain of command that remains unchanged even though the responses are to outdated questions. We keep them around to celebrate our heritage, which gives, what's up with that? I mean, can we build a statue and move on? A refugee camp, a rubber stamp? Please, our pleas remain unheard. How common, how absurd. And I have one more called Rehash. I've got a new sexuality. I've got a new identity. Something yearning to be free. I present to you the new me. I've got a new sexuality. I've got a new identity. I knew there was someone out there for me to love, to hold, to spend eternity. Attracted to your aura, to the olfactory sense, to the way we mesh together during time that we spend. A multitude of options there for me. I'm not the only one to be. Did it not feel right? Did you not fit in? Being told it's not normal, but it sure as hell was fun. The search went on, the introspective kind first. Only venturing out let me find I was not the first to feel this way, unlike conventionality. Let me take an open letter and I'll share it openly. Thank you, Tim Waters.
Tim Waters, he'll be here in the fall. So come back, please come back.
Maybe I'll have to mix some of my old punk rock videos with from the 80s with some poetry.
We are totally open to that. I believe there's actually a projector.
Brilliant.
So we have a projector to manage these things. So I'm going to read this poem, which is so old, I still center things. It's called Eating Music. No, it has no relationship to eating poetry. People would tell me this and I'd be like, what is eating poetry? Because I am a Philistine. But I'm reading it specifically because it feels like it was a nice intersection. Somehow it intersected for me with all four readers. Eating music. To enter marks something again, the things one gives much know. It is, there is, over it legend. To absolute partake it. It is over playing the piano. Must the piano. It plays it over the marking somewhat. The hand is replacing the individual again. Is the things, the hand replacing a particular double of body. To still rather, the thing of, one of that it gives, that is one consequently in. Music enters it. It is over the game of the plan, must the plan, it plays it, rather than the things it gives to a double quantity of body, streaming the legend the hand for the particular, the taken. Always the double detail taken to enter marks some still thing, the hand exchanging for along with the experience and the measure in order to after this, which it begins, which is a department is, which is required of the hand, which the message is, which is continued being the markings which. Division demanded of it, the past dream of morning, experience is crossing over, and he was meant to measure the hand of that one. The hand of that one produces music, a worked object. That ago is over, must the it, that is rather always, not that the amount of body one gives to work. Hand a private double, body motionless with legend thus above. Playing piano, duty piano, to play is above inception to some respect. Things that of that one which is inside music, it is above the play it owes marker, is above the play it owes mark, anchor for enter, measure still, a double in visual motion, more rather than what. Music is the standard meant of him, obtained in the past and into that very morning, the impression, a measure about the piano, of the piano, cut upwards, dreaming the representative world, advanced in sections, music that within meant they of its time beyond. It above, that inscription, starting with what is a required division, a hand in, moment in, artifact. What remains are the copies, the marks it manufactures. The causes, the time, this division with the impression, what remained is ruptured past dreaming, reversing on the face of the face included on of the measurement requested, the meaning of us to her, an annotation. That if the moments directly for it new marks, that which becomes the action became a repeated meaning, the meant of it, time over there, above him, annotation, division, what division required. The hand is an object that begins what is the ass division, the hand moving straight through music beyond the causes. Thank you. Our last reader is Brenna. I'm sorry, apologies.
It's okay.
Hi, my name's Brenna. Archetype and ancient myth. The desert is my first love. Woven strands of hieroglyphs. Endless warplanes fly above. You want me inside of you, but I protest. Stand firm in my identity of what it meant to be a dear woman free. No entity could replace me. Captured energy radiates frequency tirelessly. Dancing on strings, tethered ties, tying strings where woven strands remember things. Memorizing, it's a thing. All right, you want to hear a poem that's kind of, it's kind of part rap, maybe a little hip-hoppy.
Yes.
You want to play a game, I'm a player. There are no words left when you make me quiver. Hands down my back and boy you deliver, I still feel the weight on your shoulder. You want to make me cry but with pleasure. Then you leave me dry, what's the matter? You make my body quake till I shatter. I still feel the heat of your swagger. You're gonna make me think that you're new. Even though you got all those old tattoos. Holding court like a king, pushing buttons, beat machines. Ego trip, drunken slips, down the ladder, flip the script. You take me down, down, down to the underside. Down, 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 we're going for a ride. You wanna send me pain, I'm gonna pass. I'd rather chill with your homies and smoke some good grass. Take your drugs to the club and pay for a dick rub. I'll be fine drinking wine, killing time, spitting some sublime rhymes. Oh, so you got a girlfriend? That's even weirder. Could've told me that before I ate your dick for dinner. Slanted eyes, I'm a spy for the ways I'll fuck you later. Small town, what goes around comes back better. You take me down, down, down to the underside. Down, 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 going for a ride. I got one more. I'm trying out this hip hop thing. I'm shaking. It's making me nervous, but okay, so everybody's had reactions to the election and all that stuff. So this poem was my kind of take, and I wrote it when the election was going on because I was just like, so anyway. Each political divide has a villain on the inside which guides the tides in these turbulent times. No jury in the court of public opinion, weak-minded individuals claim dominion. Gotta watch your back around quote woke minions. Guardians water my garden on a sacred mission. Alignment in vision, call me she who has risen, broken free from mental prison. Recognize the vibe of the warrior tribe, proud in the sound of the underground. This profound get down, can't be drowned, can't fall from grace, won't be replaced. Your insecurity makes you dangerous. What, you think this is a game to us? You stalk and won't stop talking, obsessed with my energy, looking for fragility, attacking my frequency so you can strike me? Old stories, new bitches, old wounds, new stitches, two sides, same coin, two wings, one plane. Gotta find ways to keep yourself sane in this war game. Know the real enemy, it's not you, it's not me, it's not them, it's not him, it's the war within. It's the propaganda you steep yourself in. The walls you erect inside your mind confine you. Don't let the sign of the times blind you. Thank you.
Well, does anyone else want to read or do something that involves something in standing here instead of standing there? Anybody? Okay. This is our last reading of the season. I love you. Thank you for coming. Please come back in the fall.